Today from Adam Silver. I'm disappointed that he has not offered an unqualified apology and more specifically denounced the vile and harmful content contained in the film he chose to publicize. I will be meeting with Kyrie in person in the next week to discuss this situation. Brew, your response.
Well, look, I will say this to Kyrie. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is your refusal to apologize worth giving up your NBA career? Because I fear, and I say fear because I really believe, regardless of how you feel about Kyrie's beliefs, I don't think anybody in this pluralistic society we have, where we're going to have differing views, competing views, and opposing views, that anyone should be suspended or fired for their beliefs as long as they're not promoting violence and, against another group of people, which Kyrie isn't doing. So I hope this isn't the case, but I fear that his refusal to apologize could cost him his NBA career. Not this year. I think he'll play this year. But next year when he's a free agent, I think, Nick, we agree, Kyrie would be essentially untradeable at this point.
Oh, he was untradeable this summer.
Right. So I think when he's a free agent, if this is the atmosphere that it stays this way, he doesn't change his stance and doesn't miraculously lead the Nets to the finals or whatever, then I think this could very well be the last season of his career, which obviously would be unfortunate. I'd hate to see it. I hope that's not the case. But I say to Kyrie, look, no one's asking Kyrie to apologize for saying his belief is that African Americans are the biblical Jews.
Yeah.
He's saying, when I know who I am, he's saying he believes he's Semitic.
Right.
Okay? And that the Jews in America, the European ones, are Europeans and not Semitic. That's what he's saying. That's his belief. That's fine. People aren't asking him to apologize for that. They're asking him to apologize for. He admitted today there are falsehoods in the book.
In the
right.
book and the movie.
That's what people are asking you to apologize for. You
but
say it yourself.
It
there's falsehoods
because people want him to, so he won't do it.
Jews. So that's all they're asking you to apologize for. So I would advise him to do that so he can continue playing the game he loves.
So I want to make Wilds one kind of macro point, one micro point. The macro point is this. I've never understood people that find it difficult to apologize. People that, you hear about people arguing with their wives or spouses, and it's just clearly someone just wants to hear, I'm sorry.
Right.
And some people stand on pride in I won't apologize. I screwed up today with a dear friend at work. Made a joke I shouldn't have made. I apologized 5 times within 10 seconds. He says, I was sorry. I felt badly. I also have screwed up at home. And I didn't really think I screwed up. But I was like, I don't want to have this fight. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'm sorry.
Right.
Kyrie, it doesn't have, it would appear, anyone around him that says, all right, listen, once you've acknowledged that the movie had some stuff in it that you are disavowing, then there's not even a principled reason not to say, so I'm sorry for that. You know what I mean? And then you can watch the whole thing. He does about 3 minutes about what he believes his heritage is and about how angry he is. And justifiably, I think, he feels anger that is not taught in this country the way. And I'm not talking about who the true Jewish people are. I'm talking about black history and black experience. I understand all of that. But to me, he comes at it from such a combative place that it's hard to get to where we need to get to. And here's the other element, and this is why I think Brew might be right. Kyrie also needs to recognize he plays a team sport. And in team sports, there are different sacrifices people must make for the betterment of the team. And last year, he refused. Last year, the best thing for the Nets would have been for him to get vaccinated. I'm not trying to have a vaccination argument with anyone. Everyone can agree, given the rules, fair or unfair, the best thing. He made a choice for what was best for him. The best thing for the Nets right now, as they try to get out of, on the court, this hell they're in, is to be able to turn the page on this. And he was given the opportunity, and he won't take it. And so because of that, Wilds, I don't think what Brew is saying is far off. That if, I've talked a lot about on the court, I think he's an overrated player when it comes to contributing to winning. If he has another year where the team underachieves, and you have this, or whatever's next, laying out there, I think it is going to be hard for a team to say they want to make any type of investment in Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, so when we watched it today and we talked about it prior to going on air, are like, man, we are so far away from basketball in the conversation. And I looked at the standings. It goes, Bucks, Cavs, and then Brooklyn far down. This big story out of Milwaukee, the undefeated Milwaukee Bucks, is that Giannis brought a cart full of sneakers to practice, and he was pulling off Adidas and trying to put on Giannis's. That's the big story in Milwaukee. The second place Cavs just beat the Celtics, who were in the finals,
game of the year
in overtime.
Yeah.
Great game. The big question is, like, Garland's back. Is this just a honeymoon period, or is it going to wear off a little bit? Donovan seems to be fitting in. And then we come to Brooklyn. We are so far away from basketball that we have Kyrie's press conference that is light years away from basketball. We've got Ben Simmons now with a knee injury, and we've got this looming hire that is going to be a firestorm coming of Udoka, perhaps. So, Brew, just from a basketball sense, I don't know how there can be any optimism in Brooklyn when literally the actual basketball and hey, you know what we need to work on? Rebounding. We're last in defensive rebounding. But that conversation almost seems stupid, absurd.
No,
we're light years away from it.
It is bad, and like you said, basketball seems to be about 5th or 6th on the list. Now, when you look at the basketball, you see Kevin Durant, you see Kyrie Irving, you see potential from Ben Simmons, right? And you see Ime Udoka, presumably, who's going to be their next coach, who is a really good coach, and I think brings the defensive focus and things that they need. But they are a long way from that. And the fact that they don't have a leader, Nick, LeBron James is a leader. And that's why he and Kyrie were able to have great success together on a team level. They don't have a leader. And maybe it can be Udoka, but I think you need a leader on that roster.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
what they do not have.
And this also, by the way, is why the Nets didn't want Kyrie to talk. When Sean Marks said, what did he say? We're going to we don't want to cause a fuss. Because it was very interesting that last night when the Nets and Kyrie statement came out, I thought, okay, I guess this is done for the most part. Like, Kyrie is given as far as he will give. I think the NBA wants to turn the page, and now we'll just move to the next story, which will be whoever they hire as coach. But the NBA, to their credit, I believe, said no. And Adam said no. This is a bridge too far without any real apology. And once Adam released that statement, and in that statement that, Kevin, you read to the audience, Adam says he's going to sit down and meet with Kyrie. I think that could go left quick, man. I'm not.
So what do you think? Because I don't think Kyrie is going to kowtow to Adam.
I don't think so either.
So what do you think?
I don't know, but my point is, I think that the Nets are either just impossibly poorly run, and they didn't know that statement wasn't going to do enough, right? Mm-hmm. Or they ran the statement by the league office. And the league was like, yeah, we'd like an apology in there. They're like, well, he's not given one. So now does Adam think when they sit down he's going to get it? That doesn't strike me as Kyrie's, behavior. So I don't know where this goes. I think they maybe have missed the opportunity to really punish him because he's playing since then. But I think this is going to fester. And I think and everyone talks about the Udoka thing, the Nets taking a risk by hiring Udoka. I wonder if part of the risk is, well, who else is going to take this job? Who else right now wants to coach the Brooklyn Nets, except for a guy who maybe nobody else?
There's only 30 of them.
Yeah, well,
they could just promote Jacques Vaughn, to be honest. They could have just done that. But I think that Kyrie will, it depends on the fans. If the fans make a big stink, if they're protesters at Barclays, whether it's with Kyrie or Udoka, then this story will not go away. Yeah. If they're not, and they can get back to basketball, maybe it will fade. Mm-hmm. That's what I hope. But I'm just saying to Kyrie, look, is it worth it? Just the falsehoods, the things that hurt.
It's crazy.
The things he believes in, nobody's asking him to apologize for.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.